Hello there! My name is Lindsay Richardson. I am the co-founder of Marketing Co-op, and I am so excited to be here with you today to go over the 5 key strategies you must know before creating a marketing plan. So this presentation is really about exactly what you need to know before you delve in and create all these plans and do all these different things. I want to make sure that you have things dialed in, everything's set, you know exactly what you're doing before you dive in. And the reason why is because I want your plan to come to life. I don't want it to just be another paper in the office that you put aside and you forget about. I want this plan to work for you, get results, and get you more clients in the door so you can get more revenue. That's really the bottom line, right, at the end of the day. So I'm really pumped to be here with you today, and we're going to go over the 5 key strategies you must know. And I really want you to watch this presentation before you create another marketing plan. It's really key. It's really important. So, who am I? I am Lindsay. I'm one of the co-founders of the Marketing Co-op, and we are a virtual marketing company. We create programs and coaching programs for entrepreneurs such as yourself to help you guys sift through all the different marketing products out there, all the different ideas out there, and figure out what is best for you. And what we've put together is some really cool programs to help entrepreneurs such as yourself to sift through all the ideas out there because it's confusing, it's overwhelming, and we don't want you to feel that way. We have a formula, it works, tried and true, we've done it, we've worked with many people doing it, and they've seen so much success from doing it. So we're so excited to share that with you today. And this was me a while back before we started the co-op, and I was so confused. So confused. I've been in marketing for over 13 years. I've worked for countless companies, Lululemon, House of Blues, multiple restaurant chains, you name it. I've probably been inside their either kitchen working in restaurants or marketing or corporate offices. I've been all over the place and I have a slew of experience. But yet I still found myself confused. Here I was, the founder of a blog doing it wrong since 1982, which was all about love and relationships. And then I also was on the heels of starting Marketing Co-op with Nicole. And I couldn't figure out what that all had in common. What did that mean? What does love have to do with marketing, right? I just couldn't figure it out. And so here I was in the middle of my living room floor with all these whiteboards, all these pieces of paper, and walks in my fiance, and all I'm yelling at him is, I need another whiteboard, I need another paper, because everything that you see here was going on in my brain. And you may feel like that. You may feel like all of these things are going on in your brain. And that's really hard because it feels like you can't obtain your goals when it's all up in your brain, right? So I'm going to show you exactly the steps that you need to do to get it down, to get it on paper. And let me just tell you, what happened after that day was that I developed a strategic method to basically really focus in and create a marketing plan. And it changed my business, changed my life, and changed Nicole and I, the co-founder of Marketing Co-op's business moving forward. It's something that has helped us so much to dial in, focus in, and get stuff done. We're all about taking action. We've gotten more done since April of starting the company than some people get done in years. And that's because we focus in, we really get clear, and we use our plan that I created there, and it's just extremely helpful. So I don't want you to feel like that. I don't want you to feel like your mind's all over the place. I don't want you to feel like you've got whiteboards all over the place and you're so confused. And today I really want you to leave with clarity. I really want to help you do that. So that's Nicole, my co-founder, my fellow co-founder of Marketing Co-op, and of course that's myself. And we started the co-op in April of this year, 2014, but it had been on our radar for many months. But as we teach all of our clients, for us it was really important that we had the time to focus in on our project. So we didn't want to start it until we were both totally ready and had the time that we could devote to it because we wanted to do it right. So the birth of the co-op was actually in a Starbucks parking lot. Nicole and I met last year through masterminding. We had actually had a colleague in common, and Nicole and I had been working together on a project, and we talked to each other and asked each other, hey, do you know of any women groups that we could sit down and chat with? And she said no, and I said no, and I said, well, do you want to meet weekly? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And so together we actually ended up meeting every single week, same time, same place, even though we both had to drive a good 20-30 minutes. And we sat down and we'd hold each other accountable. We'd ask each other what we could support with, what were the wins, what were the losses, what could we do together. And it was an amazing, amazing, amazing experience. And as a result of it, Nicole and I developed such a great partnership. We realized that someday we were going to work together, but we couldn't figure it out how it was going to be. And our meeting spot was a Starbucks in Del Mar. And one day we stood outside, and Nicole said, "Hey, what do you think about doing like a workshop together? Like, we could make it 2 days. You could do strategic planning. I could do focus on all the online world. And, we could call it like webshop or something." And from there, we realized, oh my God, that totally makes sense. And so started the co-op and our web shop program into creation. And so it was just really cool. We came together through masterminding and through wanting to hold each other accountable and through wanting someone to hold us accountable, because honestly, it doesn't matter what level you're at, having someone hold you accountable is so key. Because every week when I came there, Nicole asked me about what I had said I would do the week before. And if I didn't have that done, I would just think about, oh my gosh, I have to get it done because I have to be, Nicole's going to hold me accountable. I need to get it done. So having that person there to hold you accountable is so key. And let me just tell you, we've just had such a blast sharing our adventures at the co-op. So I want to talk to you about what you're going to learn today. First and foremost, you're going to learn the top 5 tips you need to know before creating a marketing plan. Don't create another plan before you learn these tips with me. They're really, really important, and they're really key for a foundation. How to be 100% ready to take action and see your ideas come to life. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I've worked with that have amazing ideas, and many of them say, I'm the creative, I can't plan. You can plan and you can take action, and we're going to show you how, okay? So ideas are great. We love them. They're amazing. We don't by any means want to we don't want to tell you not to have ideas, but we're going to show you how to make them come to life. And then how to implement a marketing plan that works. I want you to save time, and I don't want you to create this huge marketing plan because you think that's what you should do. Stop focusing on what you should do, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. And what you need to do is save yourself time so that you can work on your business, right? You need to do what you're passionate about, which is taking the time to work on your business. That's why you've started in the first place. So the tips I'm going to share with you today are going to help you save time. And then remember, I want to show you action. What does action mean, right? So we tell you we're going to help you take action. Well, what does that matter? Well, action equals growth, and growth equals sales, okay? When you're taking action, you're moving forward. When you're moving forward, you're moving towards sales. When you're standing and sitting with the same idea for months and months and months and you're not making it happen, you have no sales. Okay, that's just the bottom line. So I really want today to help you to take action so that you can grow and then you could have more sales in the door. I want you to have all of your dreams come true. I want you to have your business bring in sales so that you can truly, truly do what you love best and run the business. So I want to share you a little story with you. I want you to meet my friend Bryn. And Bryn and I met a little over a year and a half ago. I think it was fate that brought us together. It's very rare that as you get into your 30s that you meet these new individuals that are great friends, and her and I just clicked from the very beginning. And she had told me that she was starting a wedding design business, and I was so excited by hearing that. And so I just loved what she was up to and how cool her concept sounded. So that was June of last year that we met. So flash forward, Bryn and I became amazing friends, and we were so thankful. We got to see each other so often throughout, even though she lived in Seattle and I lived in San Diego. And Bryn, when I saw her this past year in January, I came to visit her up in Seattle, and I said, how's it going? Like, I can't wait to hear more about your wedding design service, especially knowing that I was hoping to get engaged soon. And Bryn had said, Lindsay, we're stuck, and we haven't gotten our website up. And here they were, 7-8 months later with this great, amazing business concept. The world needed them. They're so talented, but they couldn't work through the barriers. So I told her, Bryn, I'm going to sit down with you tomorrow, and we are going to create a plan. And I'm going to take you through my entire method, all my steps, and we're going to create a plan. We're going to get through those barriers. We're going to figure them out, and it's going to be amazing. So the next day we sat down and we went through my entire step-by-step, how we create a marketing plan, all the steps that we need to go through. And as we got to the things that were holding her back, the barriers, the reasons why the site wasn't up yet, the reasons why they weren't done yet, it was so great to see her eyes light up when we created solutions. She didn't have to live in the barriers anymore, because a lot of times you find yourself completely stuck in the barriers. And then from there, you can't get past them, right? It feels like you can't get past them. So together, we created this kick butt marketing plan. And I'm going to share with you a little later the results of what happened. But just seeing her eyes light up and seeing exactly what I love to see when I work with fellow entrepreneurs and create a plan to help them get stuff done in their business and take action. Because again, action equals growth and growth equals sales. So let's jump in. I want to dive in with you. So tip number 1, foundation is key. Okay, you're like, I know, duh, I need a foundation. But let me just take a step back for a second. Look at all those beautiful buildings. It's in my favorite city, Chicago. Okay. If those buildings didn't have a foundation, would they be able to stand? They wouldn't, right? If something happened, I would never wish that upon any city. But if something did happen, an earthquake or something of that, and they didn't have a solid foundation, you're going to find yourself rebuilding all of the buildings. And that is something that I really want to emphasize to you. Without a foundation, you'll have to take steps back. Okay. I hear entrepreneurs all the time saying, oh, I'm ready to create my new product. Well, when you're deciding to create a product, but you haven't created a website yet, and you haven't created even a business card, and you haven't started networking, how are you going to get the product out there? And we hear this a lot, and I just want to let you know that the foundational pieces are key. Sometimes they can be painstaking, right? A lot of people are like, I don't want to do these foundational pieces. They don't bring in revenue. I know the foundational pieces won't, but in the long run they will. Because how is someone going to buy your product? They have to do it on the website, right? They have to do it. If it's an online product, you've got to have a website to sell it to them. So it's really important to remember that foundation is key, because without it, you'll take steps back. So how do you build a foundation? What do you need to do that? Well, first you would need to identify your why. This is what it all always comes back to. Why are you in this business in the first place? Simon Sinek does such a wonderful job, and he has a great book about the why. And really, that is key. You have to identify that, because if things aren't in line with your why, then it's not going to line up. It's not going to work. If you're trying to be something you're not, if you're trying to focus on areas that you're not passionate about, it's going to be like pulling teeth to get yourself to do the work, and it's not going to work. So really make sure that you identify your why. And then you also have to identify your who. People are really scared to identify their who, because they're fearful that if they narrow in on their target market, that they're going to pigeonhole themselves into just a certain target market. And let me just tell you, I love this example. If you're a restaurant that has 5 items on the menu versus a restaurant that has 150 items on the menu, which place do you want to eat? The 5 items on the menu has a beautiful fish steak selection. They all are in the same genre. And then you've got the 150 items on the menu that has burritos and pizza and tacos and everything. Which place are you going to trust, right? So the reason why I share that story is because you really have got to narrow in. And when you narrow in, people will know, okay, that's what the person's an expert on. So you really got to narrow in on your who and who that person is, and get really, really clear on them and be okay with it. And don't worry, just because you've narrowed in on that doesn't mean that other people won't come. I promise you that. And then identify their where. Where are they? Where are they hanging out? This is really key, because you've got to know. I hear, a lot of entrepreneurs ask me, well, should I do this sponsorship event? It's $10,000 and, I'll get this booth. And I ask them, well, first of all, will you make that back triple or quadruple? And second of all, are your people hanging out there? Don't pay for these sponsorships if your person isn't there. That's not the best use of your marketing dollars. You really have to identify where they are. And you may be saying, well, I've done this. I've got my who, I've got my where, why, I've got my where, I know. Well, that's great. Amazing. Congratulations for doing that. That's really, really wonderful. And that's going to really help you. One thing I want to challenge you to think about too is, in terms of foundational pieces, making sure you have everything in place. So again, going back to, if you don't have a website, you shouldn't be starting to build a product. And I don't want to discourage you, because definitely have all your ideas down for the product, but focus your energy on getting that website up and going. Then focus your energy on the product. I know that people say, well, I can multitask. Let me just tell you, multitasking is going to end you up in a state of chaos. And really, the best thing to do is really, really focus. Also, do you have your social media in place? Do you have your email marketing in place? We have a free download that you can get on our website of an the marketing plan, which I'll reference at the end of this. And I tell you exactly the foundational pieces that you really need to make sure that you have in place. Do you have a business card? Things like that, making sure that you have everything really solid and in place and a really good foundation so that you can take the steps, so that you can create a product, so that you can drive business to your website, so you can go to a networking event and tell people, here's my website, here's my business card. So that's really, really, really key. All right, this is my favorite one, I have to tell you. So you must be wondering, well, what does this squirrel have anything to do with marketing planning, right? Well, I'm just going to tell you, you must cleanse the fear. I see so often, and believe me, I do it as well. We like to call it squirrel because your head's constantly moving, right? You're like, oh, then my neighbor down the street is doing this. They're doing a spin class, so I need to do a spin class. But I'm a yoga studio. My neighbor down the street is doing X, Y, and Z, or that person's doing this, and you're all over the place. And let me just tell you, you've got to cleanse the fear. That's just the fear talking, okay? The fear is talking because we're afraid if we're not everything to everyone, that we're not going to succeed. And let me just tell you, you cannot be everything to everyone, because if you are, you'll be nothing to no one. And I hate to say that, but it is the truth. You cannot constantly be spreading yourself thin. You've got to focus and you've got to narrow in on exactly what you want to do. And part of that is just cleansing the fear, because we're fearful of our competition, right? As much as we don't want to admit it, it's scary. It's scary that someone just opened the same exact style business down the street from us 2 blocks. But I love this example that Cynthia Pasquala, she's a holistic health coach, gave at a mastermind that I was at. And she said, look, I've counted. There's over 100,000 cookbooks out there. But the person that buys one cookbook buys multiple cookbooks. They don't just buy one, right? And I thought about it and was like, oh my gosh, when I was going through a breakup years ago, I bought every single breakup and love book in the breakup aisle because I wanted to feel good. I wanted to feel better. And it's the same. So just because maybe you're a yoga studio and you don't offer spin, well, the yoga is a great balance for the spin, right? So they can get the stretching that they need. There's such a great contrast. So remember that and be proud of who you are and cleanse the fear and don't try to be everything to everyone. So how do you kick the fear? All right, I like to call it FOMO, fear of missing out. It's scary, right? So if I'm not doing this, I'm missing out on that. If I'm not on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Snapchat, I'm totally missing out. Well, guess what? When you're not updating all of those sites constantly, it's not going to look good for your brand when someone goes there and everything's not updated because you're trying to be everything to everyone. So, how do you kick the fear? Well, action creates motivation, and that's just bottom line. I heard this once at a mastermind from Michael Fishman, and it was so genius. I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, you're right. Like, oftentimes I'll find myself waiting for the motivation. That's not when I get the motivation. I get the motivation, I like to call it a little action high, when I take action. And that's really, really what's key is you've got to start taking action. So you just got to start going out there and based on your plan, just doing. You've got to take action. And that's really, really key. And again, that's going to get you the growth and that's going to get you the sales. So number 3, all right, you knew it had to be in there. You've got to create a plan. And I love to tell people, this quote is one of my favorites. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And that's really the bottom line. How are you going to know where you're going if you don't have a plan set in place? I like to break the plan down into 90 days. Okay, and so I often hear from other entrepreneurs, oh no, a plan. All right, I've brought this up many a times. We do this in our web shops and we really help people to create a marketing plan. And they say, well, I can't do a plan. I feel boxed in. Well, guess what? A plan's scary because it's making you commit to something, right? That's the bottom line. If I put it in paper, that's what I have to do. I have to take action on it and I have to get going. Every time I add some tasks to my task list that are uncomfortable tasks because I'm scared to do them, I'm like, oh no, now they're in writing, they're out of my head. Right? That's scary because then you actually have to commit to them and take action. But guess who's talking now? That is the fear of missing out. And you've got to squash that. You've got to squash that fear. A plan is going to help you get things in place. A plan is really, really, really key. And I can't emphasize that enough. If you want to go to your business, I'm just going to let you know this now. These are the things you need to commit to. You need to commit to creating a consistent marketing plan. I like to do it every 90 days. That's 4 plans a year. If you could spend 2 hours every quarter creating a marketing plan, that is 8 hours a year. 8 hours a year. That's not that much. 8 hours a year so that you could have really clear focus. And guess what? If something changes in your plan, if you're like, this isn't working, you can adjust your plan, okay? But the key is to commit to what you've put forth. That is what's key. And then you need to make sure that you feel good about your plan and it's in line with your foundation. Again, going back to those foundational pieces, those are key. It needs to be in line with your foundation so that you can move forward and succeed. And then you have to execute it. And this is going to be the hard part. If it doesn't fit into the plan, you've got to sideline it. And that's really, really challenging for a lot of people, right? Because we want to try to do everything. We have all these great ideas and we want to try to do them. And you don't want to confuse the consumer. Think about how overwhelmed you get with all the products out there. Should I do the social media product? Should I do the webinar product? Should I do the sales funnel product? Should I do the email marketing product? Which product should I do, right? There's a lot, and there's a lot of amazing, amazing, amazing products out there. And what I say to you is pick the ones that best fit into your plan. If you're focusing on email marketing this quarter, then pick an email marketing plan. If you're focusing on marketing planning this quarter, then pick a plan that's going to help you do your marketing plan. It's just based on what you're currently doing and where you're struggling, but also what goals you have so that you can really, really fulfill your goals. But if you want to grow your business, these things are key, and they may seem simple, but I see it time and time again. So many people are not following through with their ideas and their plan, and they are so excited to talk about their ideas, and then they're not taking action on them. You have to take action. You've got to execute it, and you've got to have a filter that you run things through to make sure that it's right for you and right for your business. So tip number 4, of course, focus and filter. Don't create another product before you've had time to finish promoting your current products or program. This is key, and I see this a lot. I like to say that we're all suffering from, we're all suffering from that little FOMO and that squirrel. We're all suffering from squirrel because a lot of times I'm seeing people create another product before they fulfilled their goal of the one product that they have. And so if we make a goal that we're going to sell out our web shop and we haven't sold out our web shop and we create 15 more products, that doesn't make sense, right? And really you want to create a product that's in line with what you're focusing on. So before you have had time to finish promoting your current products and promotions, if you're not reaching your goals, then you should not be creating another one. So how do I know if it's time to plan my next product, right? You're like, okay, great. So you're telling me I shouldn't create a product and, no, not at all. I'm going to give you this checklist and this is what I'll tell you. If your answers to this are yes and you're feeling good about it, then create your next product. If you're meeting your goals, if you're fulfilling what you want to fulfill, then definitely move on and create your next product. If you're not, then revamp the product you currently have to make it fit what you're looking for. So first, are you providing an insanely quality experience for your current customers? Let me just tell you, all the marketing tactics out there, word of mouth is such an amazing form of marketing. And you want, especially in the online world, you want your word of mouth to be great. You want people to be so, so excited to try your products. And then what are your current customers saying about you? What's their feedback? Are there changes that you need to make? I hear often people get scared to ask the feedback of their current customers because if they ask their feedback, then they actually have to make changes. And when you make changes, it takes time, right? And we don't have time. Totally get that, but sometimes you've got to take the time for these painstaking processes because it's going to be better in the long run. We ask every single one of our web shop participants, what would you change? What worked? What didn't work? Is there any feedback you can give us so that we know? We want to continue to make it better and better and we want to grow. We don't want to just assume that it's the best thing for everyone. And then are you doing things in a timely manner? Let me just tell you, now that I am actually getting married and I'm planning a wedding, that was huge for me. If I didn't hear back from people in 24 hours, we only have 6 months to plan our wedding. I don't have time to wait. Vendors are filling up quickly, especially in San Diego where we're from. So you really need to respond to inquiries quickly because if you don't respond to them, people are going to find someone else. And you might think, oh, people are so ridiculous. They're so needy. Well, guess what? We're in the day and age where our cell phones are glued to our hips, and that is the reality of the situation. So I can find a vendor that's going to call me back right away or that's going to email me right away. Now, if you can't get back to someone right away, make sure that you put it in your voicemail that, hey, I get back to people within 24 to 48 hours. That way they know and they're prepared. Got it. I won't be hearing from them. I just recently ordered a clip off of Etsy for my hair for my wedding, and it said, Just to let you know that everything's handmade. You won't be receiving it for at least 2 weeks. Got it. I know what to expect. Not a problem at all. I'm not going to panic when I don't see it in the mail. So you need to do things in a timely manner. If you're not and you're spread too thin, you either need to figure out if you need help. Do you need a virtual assistant? Do you need an intern? Do you need an assistant? Ask yourself these questions because it's really key. And then, are you making things simple for your clients or prospective customers? No hiding costs, no tricks or secrets, everything up front. Let me just tell you, I can't even tell you how many vendors I had talked to that was like, here's the cost. Oh, but it's actually going to be an extra $500 for X, Y, and Z. Oh my gosh, if I see one more hidden cost, I'm going to cry, right? And that doesn't make you feel good. And it made me feel like the person wasn't trustworthy. Like, why wouldn't you just tell me that? Why wouldn't you tell me that from the very beginning that this was how it was going to go? So don't hide costs. Don't tell people, after they've bought, oh, and by the way, this is what, it means. Be upfront and be honest with your customers and consumers. And then are you saying what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it? This is something I'm sure everyone has that friend. I hate to say that, but that when they plan something with you, they're probably going to cancel, right? Most people have that friend. And I hate that. And I hate that I can count on them canceling. It drives me nuts. And as a result of that, sometimes I've taken on too much because I hate to cancel on people. But are you doing what you say you're going to do? If you're going to promise something, take a second to pause. This is one of my new things because I have overbooked myself so much lately. I take a second to pause, and instead of answering yes right away, I tell them that I'll have to get back to them to make sure. I'll have to check my calendar. Or if it's something that my fiance and I are going to do together, I'll have to check in with Danny to make sure that it's okay. And we've got, nothing else on the calendar. So take a second and pause just so that you can truly commit to what you say you're going to do. And lastly, make sure that your goals are fulfilled. Now, if it's an unrealistic goal and you're like, I'm going to sell a million, and I haven't made it there yet, like, okay, got it. But I would make a goal for yourself. I want to sell this many before I move into my next product. At this point, I'll be completely happy with the revenue I'm bringing in. So really ask yourself that question. That's going to be key. All right, number 5, accountability. So remember how I said in the beginning, Nicole and I held each other accountable? That was really, really, really huge for both of us. We held each other accountable. We met weekly. Rain or shine, we were there. And accountability is really key. You need a plan in place, printed, committed to, and actionable. That's first. You need to have that plan set. And then how do you hold yourself accountable? Well, there's a lot of great ways to do it. Mastermind groups. If you haven't heard of what a mastermind group is, just a group of like-minded individuals in a group working together to help each other and hold each other accountable and learning from each other. One of the best sources out there is mastermind groups. To help each other and hold each other accountable is amazing. Accountability partners. If you can't afford a mastermind group, just ask a friend, hey, would you be my accountability partner? Can we check in weekly with each other? That's an amazing way to hold yourself accountable. Workshops are key too. I love the workshops that take you step by step because that's really, really, really helpful. I love to be taught step by step how to do something. That's just me personally and how I learn. And then networking. There's so many great online forums online now, groups and events. We're a part of a lot of them. If you search for the type of forums you're looking for, you'll definitely find a lot of free Facebook forums out there where you can connect with other female entrepreneurs. These things are really key because then you connect with other entrepreneurs, you help each other, and you grow each other. It's really, really key. So how does this all tie into your marketing plan? You're like, Lindsay, what does this mean? How does this tie in? Okay, well, first, you've got to say yes to the tips. You've got to start there, right? You've got to ask yourself the hard questions. I want to know, is your foundation really in place? Does your website look really great and it's up and running and good? Do you have your social media in place? Do you have a business card? Do you have all the essential foundational pieces that you need? That's first. Ask yourself these questions. And if they're not feeling good, the answers aren't, then that's what your action plan should be about. That's what you should start actioning. And then you need to be consistently patient. Oh my God, patience is the evil word, right? Every time I hear that word, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been patient for so many years. Well, guess what? You've got to be consistent with what you're doing, and you've got to be patient. Don't just create one marketing plan and then never follow it, okay? You need to create your marketing plan. You need to follow it. You need to break it down. And then you need to be patient with it. Things don't happen overnight. And let me just tell you, the best successes are the ones that take time and are consistently patient because you are building a really strong following. You are building people that truly, truly believe in you. And sometimes it can feel painstakingly slow. We get it. But it is really, really key and really, really important to what you're doing. And then when the answer is yes, move forward and create your plan. If it's not, rework. Okay, just don't be afraid to change and don't be afraid to rework your plan. It's okay. It's okay if you need to go back and make some changes on your website. Don't feel like you're getting behind. Don't give in to FOMO and don't give in to squirrel. It's okay because in the long run, when you do things right, just like those buildings in Chicago, if something was to happen, something was to, try to bring down your foundation, because you have a very strong foundation, you're gonna come up standing, and it's gonna be really, really huge. So make sure you've got your financials in place, you've got, your business set up, you've got all the foundational pieces. That's really, really key. And then you must say yes to action. This is me actually at my wedding venue. This is where I'll be getting married. And so I love it, of course, but you've got to say yes to action, okay? It's really, really, really key. Without all these things can be concepts and ideas, but until you take action, you're not going to see the growth and you're not going to see the sales. And let me just tell you, when you take action, you will get this little action high. I love it. The action high is the best. It's so cool. It's so amazing. So say yes to action. So let me just tell you, I see a lot of business owners. I talk with a lot of amazing people that have so many great dreams. And there's something that I always see holding people back, and it's this. They're not doing what they say they're going to do. They're not doing what they say they're going to do. They say that they have these ideas. They say that they're going to take action, and then they don't. So I want you to take my action challenge. I want you to commit to a plan. I want you to download our free plan. I want you to write it out. I want you to commit to it. I want you to do it. It's going to be really, 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 really key. And next steps, I want you to ask yourself the tough questions and make sure the answer is yes, like I said. And then, is my foundation set up? Am I living in fear? Am I focused? Do I have a consistent plan? Do I need the accountability? Ask yourself all these questions. And then create a marketing plan that fits with your foundation and say yes to the tips. That's going to be key. I want you to get really, really real with yourself and take some time. I know it's challenging. Just take an hour, ask yourself these hard questions, and make sure you're feeling good about everything. So what if I need more? We get from a lot of people, well, I still need help. I'm not sure where to start. I'm not really sure the step-by-step of how to create a marketing plan. Like, I need your assistance. And so we totally get it. And believe me, we need help too. And that's why we seek out, coaches, and we seek out programs that are going to be best fit for where we're planning. So we've created a do-it-yourself web shop, which I'm really, really excited to be able to share with you today. And I've got something very special because you have attended this webinar live, and I'm so thankful for you to be attending. So we have got the Do-It-Yourself web shop, and imagine this. So you've got a marketing plan in place now. Your target market is set and in place. You're really clear on the W's I mentioned earlier, the why, the who, the where they're hanging out. Imagine feeling that way. Everything's good. I've got my marketing plan. I've got my W's in place. Imagine having a filter that will save you time and money on every decision you make. You've got this filter. It's your checklist. You know exactly what you need to know to make these big decisions. Imagine that, right? Like, okay, this is my filter. I'm good. I've got this going. And then you've got it very clear on where to find your ideal client. You feel like you're not wasting any more time trying to find your ideal client ever. You feel focused. You feel like you have clarity. Imagine feeling that way, right? Imagine feeling like, oh my gosh, I know where my client is. I know who they are. I know where they're hanging out. I know how to find them. And then imagine also having a clear understanding of your why and how it affects every part of your business. Because I'm telling you, it all goes back to the why. If the why is not in line, you're not going to want to take the action steps in your business because it doesn't feel right. You're not going to be passionate about it. So imagine feeling this way. You've got everything focused. You're crystal clear. You've got an action plan in place. You've got your target market in place, right? It's going to feel good. It's going to feel awesome. You're going to feel clear and you're going to feel focused. I don't want you to be confused or overwhelmed anymore. And I'm going to be honest with you. I get it. I totally get it. I was that girl after even 13 years of marketing, sitting there with all those chalkboards confused. And you know why? It was because it was in my mind. It was all in my mind, and I needed to get it out of my brain, and I needed to dump it, but I needed to be organized about how I dumped it. So you can totally spend your own time, and we do have that free template, and I think that's an amazing first step. So I want you to know that. Congratulations for taking the time to do that. But I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel stuck in the idea phase. I get a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, I'm so stuck in the idea phase. I can't get past it. I don't know how to take action. And let me just tell you, it's taken me 13 years and a heck of a lot of time to create a step-by-step process that does work. I have worked with so many different companies, consulting and doing marketing plans and refining and refining and refining. And I've finally come up with a method that works. I see it working with us every single day. I see it working with clients that we've worked with. Their eyes just lighting up because the changes that they've made because they do have this step-by-step process. And it's taken me a heck of a lot of time to do this. So let me just tell you a little bit more about the Do-It-Yourself webshop product that we have that I'm really excited to share with you. So it's a do-it-yourself. It's a 4-video process, and what you're going to go through there is a few different videos. You're going to go through the 4W method, where basically I'm going to coach you and guide you through exactly how to create your target market, how to create your why, and really how to create figure out where they're hanging out, and then how to create a filter that's going to gain you a lot of clarity and a lot of focus. This is going to be key. This has been life-changing for a lot of my clients because now they use that filter in every business decision that they make. And it's really, really, really important because it's going to help you stay in line with your why and stay in line and keep focused, right? No more squirrel. Okay, so I'm sure you must be asking, well, what does this web shop include? What do I get out of this? Is this just another info product? And we get it. There's a lot of products out there, and that's why, and a lot of amazing products. Don't get us wrong. We love and work with a lot of colleagues out there that are putting together some really great programs. And the reason why we've created this is because we want to give you a step-by-step. We want to be able to hold your hand and show you exactly what you need to do. So what this web shop includes is 4 videos. And we did 4 videos so that it seemed like it could be obtainable. We didn't want it to be overwhelming for you. We want you to be able to focus, and we want you to be able to take action. So I've broken this down into 4 videos. And in each of these videos, I'm going to share exactly how to find your 4 W's, so your why, your who, your where, and of course your what, and then create a filter so that you know how to make every single business and marketing decision move forward. It's going to make your life 15 times easier, I promise. And then as well, a workbook that takes you step by step through all of these videos and exactly what you need to do. And then, because you are on this webinar and you've taken the time to do this, I'm going to give you a 30-minute one-on-one call with myself. I'll follow up with you. We can talk about anything that you need to talk about, hash anything out, any barriers that have come up as you've done the program. And then, of course, we love bonuses. So we had to add some bonuses. We have reached out to all of our trusted experts, anywhere from sizing on Facebook ads and Facebook posts and Twitter posts, to more about PR, to more about business and what exactly you need to do business-wise, and copywriting, how you should write copy, key tips that are really, really important when you're writing copy, newsletters, how to create emails, email marketing, you name it. We've put bonuses in there to really help you fill in any sort of holes that may come up in your plan that you really need some more step-by-step guides for. And to combine, this is all worth over $1,000. But because you're on this webinar and because you are one of our trusted followers, we're really excited to be able to offer this to you for $147. And let me just tell you, this is a steal of a deal. But we want to see you take action. We want to help you, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you. And that's why we're doing this, because we know that you have such an amazing gift to give to the world, and the world needs you. And we're not willing to let you get held back by your plan or by squirrel or by fear. And that's why we're doing this. That's why we're offering it to you at $147, because we really want you to be able to do this. So I told you I would tell you a little bit more about Bryn and how her story ended. Well, how Bryns' story ending was pretty wonderful, or may I say just began. So after Bryn and I sat down and talked, Bryn was able to take the 4W method and the plan and everything that we created and share it with her team. And from there, they've got their website up and running. Their business started 2 months later, fully up and running. Website, email, blog, Facebook, you name it, everything is up and good to go. And now Bryn is full-fledged into her wedding design business, and they already are filling up for next year. She already has 5 contracts out, and she is roaring to go. And if you know the wedding business, that's a lot to have that many contracts out. So I'm so excited for her and everything that she's doing, and she's had so many more inquiries, and the girl is just on fire, and so is her team at Danny and Fine Party. So what was overwhelmed, what was Bryn just, sitting in fear and worrying that the website wasn't up and, this wasn't done and that wasn't done. She really went through and took this method, and it changed her life. And it's so amazing because her and her team have an amazing gift to give. Like I've said about you, you've got this gift to give. And the key is getting focused and getting a plan in place so that you can give the gift to the world. And then just another person. We really love to see people light up. When I saw, Bryn's face light up when I helped her with her plan, it was just so cool to see working through the barriers and getting focused and getting clarity. And this is another person that took our web shop. Her name is Moon. And it was really cool to see what she said. She said it was exactly what she needed. She said it was a step by step of how to do, of what to do and how to get it done. And she said she was wandering around aimlessly. In fact, she told me that she had told her husband she was about to give up before she met us. And she said, you guys made the hard work much easier than any other programs and people out there. And I've tried a bunch of them. And it was just really cool to see how much it's changed her life and how much it's changed her business. Her and her business partner were having trouble focusing. And since they've done the web shop, they've just taken so much action and they're about to launch their first product in September. So it's really, really amazing. All right, so you must be asking, well, what's next? How do I do this? So you simply just go to marketingco-op.com. That's our website. And if you go to the Let's Work Together section in products, you'll see Let's Day 1 Strategic Marketing Planning. And you simply just go to checkout and you'll enter the code DIY Day 1, and that will get you the $50 off for being amazing and checking out this webinar today. And from there, then you'll take action. And I can't wait to help you get through, I can't wait to help you focus and I can't wait to help you see your business and your dreams come to life. It's really, really, really amazing that moment when you see all these things that you've planned for really come to life. That feeling that Bryn had when she was able to get her website up and going. She was able to get really clear on her business. And now she's able to get so many clients because she has taken action. The action has grown her and her company, and the growth has equaled sales. So just remember that. Action is so important, and I'm so excited to help you take action. And remember, at the end of the day, action creates motivation, and that's why it's so important. So thank you so much for being with me here today. I'm so thankful for you taking the time to watch. I know you have so many places that you can be and so many different webinars that you can watch, and I'm thankful for your time. And just always know, if you want to also go to our website, you can sign up to jump in on our weekly newsletter that goes out. We always send new tips, marketing tips that come out as we learn, you learn. And then I'll also send a follow-up email with the link so that you can head on in and get the product for yourself. So again, marketingco-op.com. Let's work together. And if you just enter in the code that I've put below, that'll go ahead and get you the $50 off for just saying thank you for taking the time to be here with us. And more importantly, to help you and to make it easier for you to share your gift with the world. Thanks so much.